Manufacturing jobs accounting for 13% of jobs in Minnesota, and for every manufacturing job, it supports 1.9 other jobs. What can you do as legislators to specifically help improve state manufacturers' position in Minnesota?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'll go first.
Yeah, whoever.
In the 2011 Republican budget, we provided economic development funding while eliminating the $6.2 billion deficit. And I think that as conservatives, let me take this back. It was for a long time, the Democrat Party was the party of the poor and the working class. Over the years, that ideology has shifted dramatically. Now there's a war on success. So if you are a successful individual, you are now evil because you have done something with your life and you have achieved whatever it is you want to do. And if part of that achievement is making quite a bit of money and you're successful at making money, that is now horrible. Now they want to, as Keith Ellingson had, what did he just say recently? He said something horrible. Now I can't remember. But anyway, basically, he wants to be able to limit the money that is made at the top and disperse it throughout the other workers. Okay, socialism. Manufacturing is extremely important in this area. Getting into our high schools and bringing programs and having children see, our students seeing that it's not, manufacturing is no longer standing on a line and sitting there counting widgets. This is an exciting job. And I keep telling our tech school here too that we need to market more to women because there is a lack of women in that workplace. And for
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kind of to piggyback on what Tom was saying, you know, this group represents manufacturers throughout the area, and Alex Tech School missing out on this $30 million is pretty disappointing to hear. But I understand, you know, it's buried in a bill that has other undesirable aspects.
And it also was not a bonding year.
Okay.
It's not a bonding year. That's next year.
Sure. I think Minnesota already has some unique tax challenges for business owners. And at the same time, the skills gap and shortage of qualified employees or workers, I mean, continues to challenge companies that want to grow in Minnesota. What can we do to help maybe move some of the funding for tech ed to the forefront of these bills, to the front of the docket, so that these things can stand alone? And I just don't feel that they're as important as they could be.
I'd like to make a comment to that. When we do have hearings at the Capitol, we get a lot of companies from the metro because it's easily accessible. They can just take a half hour and go down to the Capitol. What we need to hear from are more greater Minnesota companies coming down to the Capitol, testifying on bills. The capital, upfront capital exemption, sales tax exemption. I let our manufacturers know that this bill was coming up to come down to a hearing, but because it was over 2 hours away, they were unable to take time off of work when the hearing came up to go down and testify. But hearing from Greater Minnesota is going to be even more crucial as the years go on. I've spoken. You know, I was just up at Lund and did a tour of Lund. Senator Ingebretson and I did. And they too are having a major issue finding qualified workers. One of our detriments right now in this country is unextended employment. People are going into businesses, filling out their applications, but putting down hours where they know they cannot work and that the company cannot work with them. Why is that? Because it counts as job seeking. So as long as they're job seeking, they can continue getting unemployment benefits. However, what it's doing to our businesses is not getting people into their place in order to work. And they're not getting the qualified people also. Yes.
I don't want those big things.
But that's why they're doing it, so that they can continue to stay on unemployment. That is a huge issue here in Greater Minnesota when you do need a workforce.
Right now, our unemployment in this area is running right
just a little bit north of 5%.
But they're not going into manufacturing.
No, I get that. And what was said is that, incorrectly so, is that for every manufacturer job, we're creating almost 2 other jobs. Because if you're not creating something, you can't buy the service. Now, another thing that's happening in the outstate area is we do have an aging workforce. Is there something that could be done to help promote the area for younger families to move to? Because not all of the good jobs are in the metro area, but that's the mindset of most new families. Any thoughts on helping with the demographic shift that we're seeing so we do continue to take and grow good jobs here in west central Minnesota?
I think that's kind of the chicken or the egg, which, for the young people to come back here, there have to be jobs. And, so if there's jobs going wanting, maybe you folks have to get that word out.